Okay. All right. I'm just finishing this message here.
This is how it's always been. This is how it always works. I'm just here waiting, as always. Because he says he's doing something important. But how important is it?
I'm basically calling Gary Gensler an idiot.
Well, I mean, but we all know he's an idiot.
Was declared.
See how this works, guys? We're trying to film,
not
or record a podcast.
To be a security on the secondary market.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
That's the only precedent we have.
Waiting.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, ready. Let's go.
So you understand you rushed me in here.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Without me getting to fix anything on my face. Because girls, we have to make sure we look appropriate. Yeah. And then you weren't ready. And then you had to go change.
Yeah, I am the high maintenance one on this show.
Okay. Also, too, full disclosure, I absolutely love your studio, your place of business. Love it. But there's no full-size mirrors.
I have a full-size mirror in my dressing room. There's only one place that needs full-size. That's my closet. Okay. Are we going to do an intro?
I thought that was the intro.
Was it? It might be. It might be.
It might actually be. So I'm Wendy O, and this is...
Ben, a.k.a. the Bitboy.
Bitboy. And we're going to be doing, launching our podcast. This is the first episode. What is the podcast called?
The Frenemies Forever Show. Or is it Forever Frenemies Show?
We went back and forth for way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and the reason why we decided to do this is because Ben and I have been friends for a long time. And I think I'm the only person smarter than you in crypto.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I'm the only person that's been able to... go ahead toe-to-toe with you, though. That's witty enough,
that's true. Yeah.
So that's quite a challenge because you've got dad jokes, a lot of them.
Well, you've gone head-to-head with me, and I didn't rip your head off like I do most people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I was saved. Yeah, I was saved. So we decided to do this podcast because we thought it would be fun. And what can you expect from this podcast? Just bantering. We're not really going to... We're going to talk about crypto stuff. We're going to talk about real-life stuff. I've got a great list of things we're going to talk about. But this first episode, I flew from L.A., born and raised, to Atlanta. So thank you.
Yeah.
My daughter's here, but apparently you're not cool enough.
No, she didn't like me.
Your
She
daughter,
liked me just not as much as my kids.
Your daughter is cooler than you.
Yeah.
So she wanted to stay and play with the kids.
My daughter will probably take over this business one day.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
She's an assassin. Well, you know, she did a, did I tell you about her multi-level marketing scheme?
No, I got to hear it.
Oh, she did this when she was 7.
And she's 9 now, right?
She's 9 now. When she was 7, at the ballpark where both the boys played, she actually would bring her thing to make bracelets with, and she would make bracelets and she would sell them at the ballpark. Well, over time, she started recruiting girls to do it for her. She had girls making the bracelet. She had girls selling the bracelet. She got her cut. And parents came up to my wife and was like, because of course, you know, they wouldn't dare talk to me. They said, our daughter's got all this money and they say it's from your daughter. What is going on? And we didn't even know. We had to like talk to her and figure out what was happening. And so basically it continued on for a couple years, and she made a lot of money doing it. And now she is ready to start putting her allowance in crypto now.
You know what's so cool about that? That is like the purest form of capitalism and entrepreneurism ever.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that capitalism is bad.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are communists.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we go through this cycle like all the time where it's you have capitalism and it works and it flourishes, and then you have some problems. You start to get wider socioeconomic disparity. I mean, really, the way that we know capitalism and communism it is really, we know them as almost the only two forms of government, really, in a sense, right? Either everybody's working on their own and doing something, or everyone's working for the state or doing something. I think almost every single economy in the world is something similar to one of those two things. But that doesn't mean that either one of them are right. There could be a third way that we don't even know.
Socialism?
Well, socialism and Marxism are pretty close.
Well, I like capitalism. I think it's good.
I do too, because I really like capital letters. I like to type my tweets in all caps sometimes.
Well, that's just being senile, right?
Yeah, because I'm so old.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm older, you or me.
I don't know.
Do you know how old I am?
Okay, I will tell you how old I am.
You know it's never to ask a woman about their age.
I am 40.
Okay, you're older.
Perfect.
I don't know if I should say how old I am because I feel like it's a really good kept secret that
Yeah.
people don't know how old I am.
Yeah.
Because they think that I'm this or they think I'm that.
Wendy's 22, ladies and gentlemen.
I've gotten that for a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's ever accused me of that. My wife gets carded everywhere we go. Me? They don't.
Maybe it's a gray.
It probably is the gray.
Yeah. I don't have any gray hair.
Yeah?
Ever. Never in
Never?
my life. Never.
Not one gray hair.
Not one gray. Or actually, fun fact about me, I've never had a cavity.
Really? No, I
Never.
have not had a cavity since I got my adult teeth or whatever they call these, permanent teeth.
Oh.
Permanent teeth.
Okay.
I did have some cavities with my baby teeth. And it's amazing because I eat so much candy.
Well, can you talk to us a little bit about your disability?
Yeah, just so everybody knows, I do have a disability. A lot of people don't know about this.
And I'm not disability shaming because
She is.
I've got my own issues that we could run through.
Yeah. Well, guys, I have ARFID. I live with this every day. It's ARFID. It stands for, and ignore all the redundancies, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. It's more than just being a picky eater.
So basically, you just have the palate of a 3-year-old.
Yeah. So, like, when I was a kid, I didn't like a lot of stuff. And, like, for instance, my grandpa, we would go to a fast food restaurant and I would say, hey, I need that with ketchup only. And he'd say, you'll eat it like it comes, son. That's what he said. That's
What did he say?
You'll eat it like it comes.
Was he like?
Because if not, it's going to take too long to get it.
Was he like Okay, I want to know more about Grandpa.
Yeah.
Because he
Oh,
seemed
Grandpa's
very,
awesome.
Is
Pop.
Grandpa still around?
Oh, yes, yeah. Wow. Yeah. We went on a big hunting trip last year, and we've done a lot of fun stuff. He still works. He still gets out, and he's 80. How old am I? I'm 40. So he's probably 82, I think.
Okay.
And my grandma's 80, and she still gets out and works in the garden, and that's kind of the key to their life is staying active. Everybody in my family that stays active stays alive. When they quit doing stuff, they die.
I think that's the older generation though, because my grandparent, my papa was the same way. He was legally blind and he worked at Knott's Berry Farm. He was a person when you pull into
I've been
the
there.
amusement park. That's fun, right? But he was a person when you pulled in the amusement park to park. He would take your money and give you a parking ticket. But he was legally blind, so he couldn't see the money, but he was able to feel it and tell you what bills was there. And then he passed away because he had to, keep working because it's expensive to live in California. My grandma was kind of fancy, even though they lived in an apartment, but she wasn't really fancy. So he worked until the day he died, and that kept him. And actually, interesting thing, he was on his deathbed when my mom met him 20 years prior to that. When they they decided they were gonna get married, they wanted to meet the parents and stuff. But he had so many open heart surgeries, all kinds of stuff. But he worked every single day.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something to that. Staying busy, staying active. Look, I'm not sure I'm going to be working when I'm 80. I might.
Oh, I know you.
Yeah.
You have to do something.
I'm going to be doing something.
It has to be something.
Well, I'll be managing the Falcons hopefully still. Because I'm going to own the Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. Actually.
Well, that's like, when TJ and I got together and we finally really hit it big, where we had crossed over some really important numbers. We were looking at our portfolio and we were like, what's the point? Why are we still doing this? Look at all the money that's there. And ultimately, I like doing YouTube, so it's not like I was going to quit, but I had to come up with something to kind of keep me focused. And so, I know Gary Vee's famous for wanting to own the Jets. Well, I sat there and was like, the Falcons are my favorite thing in the world. I love the Falcons. So, and they're terrible always. So they need a winner to come in and take them over.
I think
Because
Gary
Arthur's shooting blanks.
I think Gary Vee's overhyped.
Yo, I think he is. Gary, unless you want to come on the show.
Yeah, he should come. You should come on the show, Gary, and tell me. I'm really curious to know why people get so excited. And I'm not. There's no shade. I'm just curious why.
I think so. I used to play a lot of Madden.
Okay.
Okay. Now I still play Madden with my son on his channel, All Madden Sports. But I remember there were two guys that I followed that were the Madden gurus. They created this entire business of tutoring people in Madden, showing them plays. They created books for everybody to read. They would eventually they got to actually be the people that went out to EA Sports when they were making Madden and got to kind of see things behind the scenes. It was pretty cool. But the point of that is that the reason they started that business and did that was because of Gary Vee. Gary Vee, very early, this would have been like 2010 maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 2010, maybe 2009, somewhere around there. And Gary Vee was like this guy that had just kind of came out on the scene who was pushing everybody to do your passion. Figure out a way to make money with your passion. And that's what those guys did. Gary Vee was like the first person to be like kind of a more outrageous version of Tony Robbins.
Okay, see that I can understand because people like that type of personality. They gravitate towards it. Anytime somebody says do money, like make money this way, people love that because they think making money is really easy when in actuality it's hard. And because I had an eBay business, that's how I paid for community college. I was an early eBay seller. I think I started like 2006, but it's hard. It's not easy. Like it is hard. And I did that while working full time. So I can respect that. But I was just curious because I don't really know a whole lot about him, but I just feel like people, like a lot of people build their personality type, especially like in the NFT space, we see that. I'm like, that's super cool. But the cool thing about like the industry that we work in is that we get to build whatever it is we want to build, how we want to build it, and just thrive if we work hard enough.
So Gary Vee was kind of doing stuff like that, like when he was kind of inventing himself or reinventing himself, or I think he worked at a wine shop or something. I don't know what he did. I think it's something to do with wine. I know that. Somebody called the ambulance. But the fact is that he came out and everything he was doing was so revolutionary. And then in the middle of that, social media starts blowing up.
Okay, that's okay. So it was right time, right place.
Yeah, of course. Like imagine if Tony Robbins had started and the internet and social media started blowing up when he was at his peak or most popular. He probably would have, wanted to do a lot of stuff with social media too, but he already had his business established. So Gary Vee, I think, has got some good things about him. I think there are definitely some negatives, some cons to Gary Vee. I think he's losing popularity right now.
Okay.
I would think.
Well, but that just goes to prove that you can pretty much, if you find your niche, and that's why I love capitalism. If you find a niche, you can capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Or
a lowercase letter.
And while doing that, you can make a lot of money or, fulfill things, like do some cool stuff.
So we've got to do like a lot of cool stuff.
We have.
Yeah, we've gotten to do some really cool stuff. So I guess let's go back to, do you remember the first time we ever talked?
Did I yell at you for something?
No. I didn't like you at first.
Oh, a lot of people don't
I've
like
never
me
told you that.
Oh.
This is the first time I've ever told Wendy like this.
Oh, okay. A lot of people don't like me at first, and the reason why, actually tell me why you didn't like me at first.
Because you were growing way faster than me. So we had this group. We had this group called Satoshi Droppers. We still visit there sometimes, but it's a lot of people that were very, like starting their accounts in 2017, 2018.
From Instagram. It started from if you did crypto on Instagram, and you were in LA, I think. But I don't know how you got in there, but you were there.
How did I get in there? I don't know. That's a great question. But TJ joined Crypto Breakfast. What does he go by now? Brecky on Bitcoin. Lucho Paletti, an incredible artist. Crypto Stash was in there.
Sanity.
Crypto Sanity.
Producer, BTW.
Andy, producer, by the way. Absolutely. Daniel. We had so many people in there. Are we missing somebody major? I hope not. I don't want to hurt their feelings.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's pretty much the main. J-Chain's came a little bit later. But yeah, so we all just started hanging out in there, and we wanted to cheat the system. I don't
think it was really cheating the system. All it was is, like we were like kind of an engagement group. Like we were all interested in crypto, and we were all going to like, okay, I posted this, like interact with it. But that's what you do with your friends anyways. Like,
yeah. Well, we created the friend group to do it.
I know, but everybody does it. Like, how many groups are you in, or how many groups did you used to be in? We're like, okay,
I had about 3 or 4 back then.
Yeah, like let's make this video to whatever, and that's how to help grow accounts, because back in crypto then, which wasn't even 2017 still wasn't that far back ago, because there's people that were in like way earlier, like you were too. But there wasn't like a lot of crypto people like what you see today as big. Like the fact that we have crypto Twitter, NFT Twitter.
It's
Bitcoin.
wild.
You remember when we got invited to go to the Bitcoin conference of 2019? I hosted an event alongside them. They were happy to have us. They loved us, and now they hate us.
Isn't that amazing? I forgot all about that. Where was that event at?
San Francisco.
But where was the event? Oh, was it that club next to that pawn shop? Remember the pawn shop that was a speakeasy?
I
Did you went in and you had to ask for a certain item and they turned around and moved a book and then there was a restaurant in the back? You didn't make it over there.
I probably not.
Yeah, you were in the club. You were in the club, Wendy.
I was in the club.
Was that where, I think that's where your event was though, if I remember correctly.
It was at like this little, I think it was attached to the hotel. But it was like a co-event with, and I'm actually, what I'm going to do, because I'm kind of petty,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to put the Bitcoin logo, whatever the organization is on my website as past partners, because they hate to see it.
That's perfect.
It's true. I have
It
pictures
is.
from the event.
Yeah. I mean, we did the Bit Bus. They gave us special discounts.
Oh, they remember how mad they were at the Bitbus?
Oh my gosh. Everybody was mad about the Bit Bus.
And all it was is like, we didn't make it. No one made any money off of
No.
it. All it was is we rented a bus. We put a bunch of people that wanted to go that wanted to go
Yeah.
to the Bitcoin San Francisco conference in 2019. You had to you basically just paid to cover for your hotel.
Mm-hmm.
The trip there, I think like food, snacks, and then the conference ticket, which
Yeah.
was actually a good deal. You saved money and people were mad.
You actually got to go to the conference overall, conference and travel cheaper than you could have gone without it. But they were so mad because all these self-important, narcissistic crypto influencers.
We weren't even influencers then.
I had like 4,000 people on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like 4,000. I think that was it probably when we went on that. Maybe I had 10 by that point, but it was something. And I remember a lot of people attacked us over it.
Oh, I got attacked too. They said horrible, terrible, disgusting things. And I'm like, going on this thing with my effing husband. Like, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you
Yeah.
people? It was just really weird, but I get it. Like, because crypto's super toxic, but that's just how long we've known each other.
How many people though? Here's a question: how many people on that were complaining about the bus are still in crypto?
I have no idea. Probably most of them not. Like,
Most of them are not. I remember some of them.
and the people that did, they're like not relevant now because they're just toxic, horrible
Yeah.
people. And the NFT community doesn't really tolerate that.
Yeah.
And they don't like sexism either, really.
Yeah.
Because that does kind of happen sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we should favor women over men myself.
I don't think that we should favor anybody over anybody. I think
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
well, I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
Telling you just like people, like different people do different things. And like if you like somebody, great. If you don't, that's fine. Doesn't matter if they're
Yeah.
man or woman. Like, you know?
Yeah, but just here's the problem. The problem with it, we're not going to get too much into this in this episode, but the problem with crypto Twitter is that, number one, you got a lot of very young kids arguing with adults. That's the thing. A lot of times when I feel like when you're arguing with somebody.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
When you were 20, well, really when you're 18,
Yeah.
you're an adult.
Okay,
So
fair.
I feel like part of the problem with society is like, oh, these kids, like with SBF. Oh, he was just a kid.
Yeah.
No, he's not a kid. He's 30 years old.
Yeah, he's 30.
So the problem is like you need to stop calling people kids. I don't know. I was out on my own on 18. Like I had to pay bills. I had
was
things
too.
to do. I started paying bills for myself when I was like 13. So I think that's a problem with society is people call everybody kids when in reality they need to just grow up.
Yeah, but I understand that perspective for sure. However, I think if you lifted the veil and you realized that you were arguing with a 17-year-old, I think you would stop. And on Twitter, you don't. You just keep going because you don't know. But a lot of times, I think a lot of these disagreements that occur where people just can't ever get on the same page, a lot of it's generational sometimes.
That's true because I come from a place, well, it's probably because of my healthcare background as I worked in HIV AIDS. And you have, like, I dealt with so many different personality types and demographics and groups and you name it, I dealt with it. And I had to figure out different ways to communicate with people.
Yeah.
And because my goal was to get people to take their medication to take care of their health. And you can't do that with somebody that you're arguing with. So
Yeah.
I had to learn social skills. And like even like we joke around about it in crypto all the time, like working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I really think every single public servant should have to have a low level minimum wage job, whether it's like working at cashier, like a McDonald's, something like that. But they should have to do that in a very bad neighborhood so they really understand different demographics.
I worked at McDonald's when I was 15. We drove past it on the way here today.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, absolutely. So the second thing that I have a big problem with on crypto Twitter is like people just believe memes and tweets about somebody. Like if you read a tweet about somebody doing something or something they did in their past or either something they may be currently doing, like try to reference and find out if it's true.
Oh no, it's too hard to do that.
It's crazy to me because we have a problem with people coming into crypto and they're new and they tend to like just trust what people say.
Never trust what anybody says.
Exactly. And do your own research, but they'll read down their Twitter feed and somebody will accuse this person of that or say something bad about this person. And that goes in their like vernacular in their head. Like that goes in their overall knowledge base of like, nope, I read that Crypto Wendy O, she's a scammer.
Oh yeah, I still get they still say that
Of course.
all the time. I'm like,
What?
So did you buy something I talked about? Like, because I was covering an article, like,
Yeah.
you know, because I posted a video. It was so funny. I posted a video. I was in Vegas. I was speaking at some TradFi conference. I posted a video. I sold all my crypto. That was the title, because on YouTube, you literally, if you do not have a clickbait title on YouTube, no one's going to watch a video.
Of course.
So I said I sold all my crypto. It was like a 3-minute video. And I says, okay, guys, I sold a lot of my dead moon bags into USDC or to Bitcoin. And then I converted and I removed some of my moon bags from a particular exchange. I transferred to cold storage, took my Bitcoin off, and sold some of my USDC.
Yeah.
But they took that as that I sold everything, but it was just for a particular exchange.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
And you still catch flack for it.
oh, they still tell me all the
They
time.
still say it. Oh, didn't you sell all our Bitcoin? No, bud. You're not capable of watching a video and comprehending it. Low IQ.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of, but that we kind of bond. So that was like how we bonded, but we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
I want to say since 2018.
Yep. So I think you came in the Social Droppers group probably about February of that year. I believe that's probably about right. And I had been in for maybe a month before you because we moved it to Twitter. And you came in and joined, and I was like, who is this Crypto Wendy O? Why is she growing so fast? And I think you were having problems with like, did you get banned from Twitter in the very beginning?
Yeah, I got banned from
remember.
Twitter a bunch of times,
Yeah.
and I moved to Instagram. I met you guys, and I finally went back to Twitter. And then my account, what happened was, once your account gets over like 1,000, then it's 1,000 subscribers or followers or whatever, then it's easier to post and do stuff.
Yeah.
But then my account started growing because then I would post I don't even know how it grew. But it just, because I taught myself how to trade and I was posting charts and like, oh my God, a girl, because there was like no girls. So that's how it went. But then, and I was bigger than you on Twitter for a long time, but then you got super famous and then surpassed me. But,
It was meant to be.
but the next run's coming, man. So you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. Well, the good news is we have this podcast now.
We do.
So if you get really popular, people will say it was because of me.
Or who knows? Who knows what they're going to say? That's actually going to be fun. That's why I want to do this podcast, because I think that we can talk about a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah.
Then we're not just going to talk about crypto stuff, guys, because crypto is fun, but it's kind of boring. I've got actually a list of the episodes that we're going to discuss, different things, but I think it's going to be really good. And yeah, and then actually the first event that we hung out at was Chicago.
Yeah. So what happened was,
Oh God, it was a S show.
it was. So that was like the first thing I did that ever went somewhat viral on Twitter. So I got to the hotel. It was the Voices of Blockchain conference.
Right, but let's tell the audience that what happened was they invited all these influencers,
Yes.
all these people, this conference. The flight was not paid for, but the hotels were paid for. And when we arrived, nobody had access to rooms.
Yep.
That's what happened. So, and that's very unprofessional. And I get that there was a problem with the credit card or what, I don't care what the thing is.
Yeah.
But you can't have guests and not be able to cover do any promise.
That still happens in crypto and conferences
Oh,
all the
it
time.
happens all the time. But I make sure that my stuff is taken care of ahead of time because, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, it was really small back then, and people got mad at you for speaking out about it.
They did. They got mad at me. They were like, "You're trying to ruin the conference." I'm like, "Nah, this hotel is like $300 a night."
We were poor then too.
We were very poor.
I'm still poor compared to.
Well, I was very poor back then. That's what I'll tell you. I was very poor. I couldn't have gone to that conference if they didn't cover the hotel. So I had to go there and figure out how to move money around to be able to put the bill on my credit card. So hopefully by the time the conference was over, they would fix it. And so I went and made a big deal about it. I went and I posted on, posted on Twitter that, maybe we can find this tweet. Maybe somebody can find this tweet.
That
and
person,
post it.
the person that just walked in, they're going to go find it.
They've got the tweet. That's where they just left.
Yeah.
They just left.
They did.
But we should find that tweet. And it was basically me saying that, like, I'm at the hotel. They said everything's covered, but I'm having to pay here. And I was the first person there. It was me, Crypto Rick from Twitter, who passed away, unfortunately,
You know what?
and Meredith Darden.
Rick was always really nice. Though.
I liked Rick. I never had a problem with Rick. He never said a bad word about me.
He was a guy that was like in the middle. Like he was friends with the people that hated us, but then just nice to. He was just nice to everybody.
Yeah.
So Rick was a good guy. I do miss him a lot.
Yeah, I liked Rick, and that was the first time I met Meredith, and we all three hung out for the day. Well, we were trying to get the hotel thing straightened. So we were the first 3 people at the hotel, and I was really tweeting that to warn everybody, like, hey, if you're coming to this conference today, you're gonna have to pay when you get to this hotel, even though you were told otherwise. And so we go to, we went that night out to eat. I went out to eat with several friends. It was Crypto Beatles, Crypto Crow, Crypto Love.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's when I got to meet everybody. It was super cool.
And you know who showed up? Shill Nye without a mask.
Oh, did he?
It was like the first time anybody ever saw him without a mask.
Was he? Oh, yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. He's a good friend of mine.
Well, he's really turned everything around. Like, people hated him for a long time, but
they hate anybody who's
successful,
decent looking, and successful. They hate it.
Y'all can hate me now. Okay. Anyways, the point is that Nye came in, and it was like, he was like the most popular person on crypto Twitter at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And he wasn't wearing a mask. I was like, oh my God, that's Shill Nye. Now, you guys may know him today as Function.
Yeah.
Function on Twitter. He's on NFT Twitter over there. But we went to a party after dinner, and there were a lot of people there. I met Bella was there. I can't remember who else made. What's Nye's friend's name? Lawrence.
Lawrence was there.
Walken
was there.
Yeah. Christopher Walken was there.
Remember those guys that did
Crypto Christopher Walken.
But remember those guys that made that BSV platform?
Oh yeah, Twetch. What? Elon Moist and Randy. Mm-hmm. What was he called back then? He wasn't Elon Moist.
I don't know. I
back
blocked
then.
him because he said something stupid.
I can't believe they went the route of the SV. So
Good for
weird.
them.
Yeah, great.
Good for them.
Good for them. So they were all at this party, and after the party, I went to go get pizza, and the people that I was with, which I will not say the names of these people, but they decided they were going to go to a sex club. They were going to go to like a BDSM, like everything goes, and I was like,
You have to tell me off here.
oh yeah, I will. Nobody shocking. And I told him, I said, yeah, guys, I can't. I'm not going there. I'm married. I got a family. This is not, look, I know there are plenty of people that are married there. I ain't going there. And so I went home, go back to the hotel. I walk into the hotel, and right there at the bar, there is Crypto Wendy Howe.
That was me. I remember. And then we went to the conference together. We hung out. It was really good. And yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time. And we were talking about, we talked with, we met that guy, Danny, that passed away. Crazy thing that happened on Twitter a while. We don't really need to get into it.
Yeah.
But met a bunch of people there. And then that was the beginning of our friendship. And we've been making fun of each other ever since.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have. Well, I do a better job of it than you do, but
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. I guess.
my
Sometimes
brain's 10% bigger. What?
I can throw a couple jabs in.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. IRL.
So what are the fun things that we did? We went to the Tron party. The Tron party is like the coolest thing we ever did.
That was so crazy too, because like it was my birthday weekend. They flew. So what happened? Why don't you tell them why we got flown out? Why a bunch of cheesy influencers got flown out?
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing. Basically, there was a auction. Was an auction. I think there still is every year. Warren Buffett auctions up a dinner with him.
I do like buffets a lot. I like to eat.
Yeah, it's always there at the buffet. He likes McDonald's from what I hear. But the point is that Warren Buffett has this auction every year. Justin's son paid, I think it was like $5 million. $5 million for the dinner. And they set it up in San Francisco at a place called Quince. It's a Michelin 3-star restaurant. Absolutely phenomenal. And I'll tell you how I know that in a minute. And so we go out there to cover the Warren Buffett lunch. Well, the day before we leave, I think, was it a lunch or a dinner?
No, what happened
was a lunch.
I feel like it got canceled, so they sent a bunch of influencers out.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's not what happened. What happened is they contacted us, and Adam Charles swears that I'm the reason. He's the reason that I got in because I was the smallest one. Me and you were the smallest ones there.
I think I was the smallest one.
You probably were.
But they had me go because they needed a token girl.
Yeah, a token girl. You are a token girl.
I am.
That's funny.
I keep up with the boys.
Yeah. Well, but you're a token girl because of crypto.
Oh my God, you're ridiculous.
It's true. she's a token girl.
What
can I say?
technically am.
So we go out there, or we get invited. It's me, you, Elio, Crypto Beatles, Ivan, Altcoin Daily,
Zombie.
Crypto Zombie, Quinn was there, and who was that? It? And me and Quinn went to a Giants game.
I went with you guys. I have a picture.
Yeah, went to Giants Cup game.
We all flew, it was crazy, and then we evolved. Like all of us became really good friends.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I met Altcoin Daily for the first time. Got to hang out with them.
Oh, and then another gentleman. I forget his name though. I forget his channel. He has an Indian channel.
Oh yeah, I do remember that guy.
He
forgot all about him.
Yeah, I see him around every once in a while, but I forget what his account is but he makes good content.
Yeah. So we get invited to come out of this party, and we're so excited. We're going to go to lunch. We're supposedly going to get to ask Warren Buffett questions after, like a press conference, after it's over. The day before we're supposed to leave, a story breaks. Justin's son will not be able to do the dinner because he had kidney stones.
Oh, yeah?
That's what happened. But they had already paid for all our travel, and so they told us to come anyways and just tour the Tron office. So we go out there, we tour the Tron office, have a good time, and then they say, oh, we're going to go to lunch. Where are we going to lunch? Oh, they paid for the lunch at Quint's. We got to go eat it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you remember this moment. Do you remember the moment where they brought the blueberries to me?
No, I don't. I was sitting at the other end of the table.
Wendy, you missed. The guys from BitTorrent were there too.
Oh, yeah. And I drank a lot of wine because they had really good wine.
Yeah.
Really, really good wine. You had a lot of very expensive water.
Yeah, I did. So they bring out it's a very fancy restaurant, and they bring out these little crackers that have blueberries on top of it. And they sit it in front of me. And I say, guys, I don't like blueberries. And everybody looks at me. Ha, ha, ha. And they laughed. And so I keep sitting there because I'm not going to eat blueberries. I don't like blueberries. 5 minutes later, Ivan goes, are you really not going to eat that, man? And I said, I don't like blueberries. And everybody erupted in laughter. It was caviar.
Yep.
It was caviar. It was the first time I ever had caviar. I love caviar now. Actually, I have it quite a bit. But I had that's how poor and uncultured I was. I didn't even, not that if you don't know what caviar is, you're poor. But I'm just saying, like, I had never seen anything like this at a restaurant like that.
The food was crazy. Like,
phenomenal.
It was crazy. It was delicious. It was really good. I was very blessed to be there. And it was just a really cool. And then they took us out on a boat, and then they took us to like the little.
That's where Altcoin Daily gave me all their secrets.
Yeah.
And that's how I passed them. I had 10,000 subscribers. They had 127,000. And Aaron always likes to tell the story about how I like to tell it too, really. But he tells it a good bit where we're on this boat and we're going around. I'm talking to him and he looks at me and has this moment where he goes, this guy is never going to be anything. I feel bad for him. I'm going to give him every tip and trick I have. And he did. And I used every single one of them. Did you not know that?
I do know, but it's just funny. Like,
it's funny, isn't it?
Because I can see Aaron's face. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Because they're really nice guys.
They're awesome.
Very, very nice people.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, I feel like I'm the annoying little sister in your life and theirs life. like all the guys, I'm just the annoying little sister. Like, stay away from that person. Like, sometimes I'm in your business and be like, hey, Ben, I just saw what you texted or what you tweeted.
Don't retweet that person.
Well, because I don't,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah.
But, Ben does what he wants to do. And now we're here. And we're going to be making a really great podcast for you guys. We're not just going to talk about crypto stuff. We actually have a couple real life things that we're going to talk about. And we're just going to make fun of each other and myself and him. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Got a lot of good topics. Like Wendy said, we don't want to stick to just crypto.
Right.
Want to get a little bit outside of it. And then I'm sure over this podcast, you guys are going to hear more stories from me and Wendy about hanging out together and being in crypto. I mean, this is your, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is your 7th year in crypto.
I'm old. I need more plastic in my face.
Yeah. You're in 7 years. I'm actually on my 2nd decade in crypto. I'm 11 years in. So,
wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Well, in all fairness, I heard about Bitcoin in 2011. I almost gave my stepson my credit card to buy it, but I didn't have a credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a mistake. He's got very expensive computer parts because none of them work. So you used to buy Bitcoin with.
Well, I almost mined Bitcoin back in 1997, they said.
Well, didn't you meet someone who started mining
did.
in 2005?
Yeah, it was so funny, like, because it was me and George from Cryptos R Us, Brian Evans, and I can't remember who else was out there. Leia wasn't out there yet. But we were shooting this show this weekend, and we were outside, and a guy from the crew that was shooting the show walks over, man, I tell you, I got one of those stories, man. I almost started mining Bitcoin back in 2005, but I don't know, I just never pulled the trigger. He's got a really slow trigger finger. He thought he was mining 2005.
He was mining it on his Commodore or Amiga computer from 1987, probably.
Yeah, maybe on his Nokia phone even.
I was pretty good at Snake.
I was really good at Snake. I like Snake. It was a good game. I miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of like crypto? Like you're just trying to get a little snake part to you all the time, trying to make a big, massive portfolio like a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might have been little Bitcoins back then.
Who knows?
I don't remember.
I mean,
It was just black and white, or was it green and?
it was like that weird pixel thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think like that
It's
color.
like the original Game Boy color.
Why do we have green?
Why don't we have green?
Is that green or black?
That's gray,
Oh.
and that's black, and that's purple, and that's orange, Wendy.
That's
you.
green.
You think it's green?
It's green.
We're gonna need to put a poll up because
Oh my God,
this
it's
is
green and gray. It's green. It is. Allergic sees it. Am I?
Wendy's colorblind, y'all. So let's wrap the show up here by saying this. We're really excited about doing this podcast. We are frenemies forever, for sure. Wendy is colorblind, and I have ARFID. So we're just normal people. We're mere mortals, just like the rest of you guys. And of course, the undisabled too.
Yes,
Yes. So we're gonna have a lot of fun.
we will.
Thank you for tuning in
Thank you.
to the Forever Frenemy Show.
FF.
S.